Okay, it's 6:30, we'll call the meeting to order. First up, modifications and changes. Any change or?
Huh? Yeah, it'll pop up in the enter.
No modifications or changes?
No.
Okay, public comment, nobody here from the public tonight, nobody's on Teams, right?
No.
Review and approval for the minutes of January 10th, 2023. If everyone got a chance to look those over and didn't find any errors or omissions,
What I spell wrong, Sandy?
No, it's not a spelling. In number 12, it should just, after written with Encore Renewables, period, it should say seconded by Heather Moore. That's it.
Okay.
Otherwise, perfect.
All right, other than that one omission, if everything else looks good, I'll hear a motion to accept them with changes.
Second.
Eli with the first, Heather with the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. That's unanimous. Okay. Brian isn't here. Is he gonna make it?
I'll give you a quick update. He actually ended up not needing him to come in. It looks like the wastewater floors, they're gonna be redoing them. He came in and talked to you guys about it. They are gonna have to tear up all of the flooring. So the subcontractor is like, well, that's gonna be an added cost, but reality of it is that cost was already built into the initial quote that you guys approved, so that's why Brian didn't end up coming in. So everything's moving forward with that, with the original quote.
Sounds like he's good to go then.
Great. They need decent floors.
Yeah, they are definitely due for them to be.
They're pretty retro.
Yeah.
Well, no, retro's supposed to be in.
Right, if you wait long enough, they'll come back in.
Come back around.
Okay, up next, Enosburg Public Library request with Brenda Stanley. Good evening.
Hi. So I know I sent a brief little outline to Abby of what I was coming about. I had presented to the select board a week and a half ago at their meeting about the Hard Act pool passes. And I know some towns are using their ARPA funds to purchase those passes for the community. And we purchased them for the library in July and August. We purchased 2 passes. It was $150 each at the discount. And what it entails is it allows a family, up to 6 people in the household, to get free admittance to the pool for 1 day. And then they check the pool pass out of the library for the day, and then they bring it back the next day. And in the 2 months, we had 32 times that the passes went out, which is pretty good. And we're getting a lot of requests for them. So I went to the select board and asked if there was any way ARPA funds could be used to purchase pass. We were told it was $200 for a pass, and it's $400 for the second pass. They're not giving a discount for the second pass now. But I was asking I asked the select board if they would consider funding $800, so it would buy the discount pass for the year. And they asked if I would come to you guys and ask if you would also pay $800 to help us fund the full pass, so that way the library would only have to foot $800 itself, because we usually only have a $200 line item budget for passes. And ARPA funds would be a good service for the community to purchase the pool passes, because then everybody is able to utilize it. And they utilize it a lot, so.
So they're $800 per pass?
It's $800, okay, so it's $200 a quarter.
Okay,
These passes are only for a quarter.
okay.
And so like, to do all 4 quarters, 2 passes, it's gonna cost $2,400. So if we could get the village to foot $800 of it with ARPA funds, and we could get the town select board said they would with $800, then the library would fundraise the other $800.
Yeah, the way that the ARPA funds got split up, it was a little weird.
Yeah.
Because the town population was kind of calculated separate, so.
Yeah, that's what they told me, so that's why they told me they wanted me to come talk to you guys also.
Do we must have 800? Okay. Well, I certainly don't see an issue with that.
I think it's
I think it's a
good.
pretty good program. Yeah.
I'll make a quick motion to approve
Bid
it.
off that we do.
Leonard made a motion, is there a second? Eli with a second, all those in favor of allocating $800 of our ARPA funds to go to the library for pool passes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Unanimous.
Oh, thank you very much.
So
Thank
my
you.
water quickly.
And we will, in all of our
Can you
PR, it'll
write-
say,
Write
right,
something up for me
Yep.
and I'll cut the check.
yep. we'll make sure in all of our PR, it'll say it's funded through ARPA funds through the Village of Enosburg and town. So that way there you guys get good PR too.
That sounds good.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brenda.
Thank you, Abby. I'll send that to you tomorrow, okay?
Perfect, I look forward to it.
Thank you.
All right, next item, sign off on clean water revolving fund, drinking water revolving fund, and lead survey line inventory loan applications.
So, should go pretty quick. I think I've got them pretty well in order for you guys to sign. Do you want to talk about what they are, or do you
Go
want?
ahead
Okay.
and rein into it.
This is for the Elm Street project. I gave you guys the full applications. I know it's a lot, to read through, but these are the applications to get the funding to continue to move forward. This is for the engineering portion. This is required for the state revolving fund for us to be able to have access to their funds. So I'll send these around. Just sign next to your name, please. And then the last one is, we've talked to them about this, right?
This is I don't think we have actually, this
Oh, yeah.
project is, the state is requiring by the end of 2024, basically a lead pipe survey, if you will, or inventory. So we're hiring Wayne and Elliott to go through and do that as well.
That should be fairly easy, we don't have any, right?
They're,
Incorrect. We probably do have some.
I guess some of the joints, I
Some.
wouldn't say piping
Oh,
per
solid.
se.
A lot of our goosenecks are
Yes, but
probably, they're considering, like the galvanized is considered lead.
Yeah,
We are gonna run into some. I know John and I keep asking the question, so they have this information, are they gonna force a replacement? And if so, we may be kind of on the hook for replacing all into the house. We don't know what's to come out of this inventory, but we will be.
Sounds like it.
Well, there was just a big article, I think I said John and Gary the other day, that Bennington just replaced all of theirs using,
it's like we're getting picked on every,
it's EPA
Yeah.
mandated this,
maybe
so
we do it.
again,
And then we signed last time, just so I don't get confused, right? West Berkshire.
so this is like,
West Berkshire Road.
Right, that project.
Remind me again where that boundary, or where we're going from,
Elm Street
West-
from
West Berkshire.
the whole road?
Yes, all the way down to,
from Orchard to Pleasant Street,
yeah.
I
With the
believe.
lighting.
And then, yep. So again, top page, just sign next to your name. On this one, just look for your name. Sam's on the front, the rest of you guys are on the back, and we'll pass that around. Okay, how was that one? What's next? Oh, People's Trust. Just a lot of signing tonight.
I even brought it back.
Next.
Is this all stuff, we've already approved all these, right?
These are the projects, yeah, this is so we can get the engineering and
But we don't
everything
need
funded.
to make a separate.
Nope,
motion.
it just needs to be, everything just needs to be signed off on. And I'll let you kind of go over that for a minute. The next one is, back in June, we made a motion to add John to People's Trust Company, but never got the paperwork back from the bank to do that. So that's what number 7 is, the resolution. Same thing, find your name. You guys should just be on the first page, top and bottom. And then John and I can sign these tomorrow. So 2 spots, top and bottom, find your name and sign, please.
Alright, hold up. Vermont Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. I am the duly authorized agent,
There's 2?
Um,
and then I'll need a witness.
yeah, you can sign it, and then John or I can just sign later to witness it, that's fine.
Oh,
You got it on camera.
Yeah, oh, I thought there was another spot. Okay. You're acting too quick.
Date of execution, 1/24.
Yes.
Oops, did I miss one?
I'm on top.
It's just that. Yeah, there's a 4th.
They all need to sign this. second page, on
I don't
page
know,
2.
last week,
Yeah,
2 weeks ago,
it's
I
fine.
looked that up and said, well,
If you
It's
want
so
to.
pricey.
well, I just found it.
Yeah.
I found another,
Just let's see.
my iPad took a flying ride. It didn't look so good when it was done, and it was like 11 years old anyway. So I got myself a new one. And so I thought, I'll just
Check that.
I guess I'll just put it.
Alright, Leonard. Here,
I'm sure they'll come down.
here,
You'll
here,
have to sign those,
and
you
there.
can sign those tomorrow, the originals.
But it's just way cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know if I would like the ones.
Oh, real estate.
You wanna try this out? Feel free.
Sandy, Leonard.
You already, did you sign the front one already, Sam? I think you signed that one already.
Especially
You said it.
when
Almost
Yeah,
feels like
you can just pass it on.
So it's like, oh, okay.
the way the screen is, it almost feels like you're writing on paper.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh, you erase it. Oh, stop that, Eli. Heather and I are just fooling over it.
I like the idea, but I don't.
It's a toy.
As much as I hate paper, it's great. Paper, paper, paper.
I like paper. I like paper, I like logging. I saw a bumper sticker many years ago. It said, don't like logging, try plastic toilet paper.
Mm.
And that just kind of stuck in my brain.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and that one you're only signing the front page.
And I
next
go
to me.
one more, way there, sign date.
I think she's talking to you, but I'm not sure. She might have been talking to her.
There's two on the front, one on the back.
Here, here, here.
Yeah, I don't know if you need to sign there or not, but go ahead since you
Wait,
started, it's
for-
not gonna hurt anything. This is for
I'll
the
just
next.
copy him.
They said the trustees select people.
Did it say that on there? Okay, perfect, thank you, I missed that then. Excuse me.
Here, bottom is
So how exactly are they gonna do that lead survey?
I think they're all going off records. And then we have, they trying to find out if they have to get into homes, and like it's been confirmed yet, if they actually have to get into homes. And then we're trying to tie this all in with, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but we're trying to tie it in with Epson, that GIS project. Because what they can do, so the GIS project, they can save the mapping, so they can duplicate it. So like during the storm, we could have pulled another map up and then had all that data, so we could have like when we go back to FEMA, we could have put pictures and everything right into there, so when we go to report, you just pull that and it'll have a picture for Mrs. Smith's house, the address, the meter number, all that type of stuff. So we're trying to figure that out, if we can kind of save another copy, have all of the meter information, all that stuff, but then also have, for the village's purpose, to have
Just sign it
that
out.
GIS data in there for, you know, what the source is coming in, what the meter is, because once we get to,
Pen keeps
AMI, if we ever get there, we'll be swapping out water meters as well.
Right.
So we'll have kind of that data in the back set to go through.
So that inventory isn't gonna include lead inside people's houses, is it?
We're,
No.
It's gonna stop at our water?
correct me if I'm wrong, we're
Goes
supposed
right
to
to the
be.
meter.
Just to the
Oh,
meter?
it is just the meter, it's not, I thought it was inside the house, cause we were gonna have to go inside people's house and see
Right,
what they
well,
had.
most of the meters are in the house.
Yeah.
They're there.
Okay,
Well, he doesn't read them out inside.
that's
but
right, cause of the.
The meter itself
things.
is
Yep,
inside, yes.
yep.
Yeah.
So that's gonna probably be the biggest hurdle, is getting access into residents. But if they flat out tell us no, then they flat out tell us no, and the state will have to figure that out at that point.
Just have them look in. No, I think it's plastic.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
that
say
sounds good to me.
TBC, we're good.
My children have 3 heads for all good.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's one of the projects coming.
Would Wayne have any information regarding
As
that?
far as I know, it's just the front page.
Like who's lead and or
It
what?
sounds like he has a lot of upfront information, yes. I mean, just over the years of working with the village, he has
The
a lot
authorized
of
agent, et
the,
cetera.
and at least a good estimate, you know, this got changed.
A lot of
this got
signing, sorry.
changed, So we did this in 18 or whatever, you know, he's got that information. So that's where they're gonna start us pulling at first, and then have to do the physical part.
So I was asked today when we're gonna do West Berkshire, and that is happening next summer. This summer.
This summer. Well, yeah, 2023 start. Yeah, we should be rolling with that here pretty soon.
Back to you so you can just double check that
Thank you,
we're.
Heather. I appreciate it.
See how many we skipped.
I try to make it easy, but
Well, sometimes the pages stick together.
I think that was it.
So this summer is gonna be West Berkshire, Waterline, and Church Street, Maple Park.
Ooh, I walked down Church Street this
Uh,
morning, and at the end of Upper Church, just before you get to the intersection, there were some fissures that looked like we'd had an earthquake. One of them was about that wide,
In the road or sidewalk?
in the road. I thought to myself, I'm glad I'm not riding a bicycle down this street right now.
All right, so that's it on those loan application. We just did People's Trust, right?
Yep, I threw that in
Okay,
too.
so that
Sorry.
takes care of that. All right, final budget review and approval.
So I just handed out all the budgets in the packet. I added the $10,000 to the general fund. That brings it to a 19.14% increase, which is a 12-cent increase over last year. And it equates to, for every $100,000 that your home is appraised, it's a $210 increase. So it puts this proposed tax rate at 0.7534. We were obviously 0.63 last year. Any final changes? We're still waiting on the new dump truck. It's still at Charlie Boys. We're waiting for it to go to Viking, so I don't have the final financial numbers as far as what the interest rate and the payments are gonna be on that, or what, you know, if we're gonna trade it in or if we're gonna have money down from selling the truck outright. So those numbers on page 2, they're highlighted near the bottom, are still estimates, so that will fluctuate. I don't expect it to go up. I did kind of factor worst case scenario there, but other than that, I don't have any other changes from the last time.
When was that scheduled to be delivered?
Well, it's been sitting at Charlie Boyce's yard for what, a month now? And we're waiting on Viking
Right.
to be able to do the dump body and all of that
When did you budget it to be, or when did you budget payments to start?
this year. It will start this year.
Right, but when?
That's just what the annual for the whole year payment's gonna be, a one-time payment, so.
Okay. I was wondering if you had it by month or whatever, but as long,
No,
I think if you
it's
budget
gonna
the
be
whole
an
year,
annual payment.
Yeah.
Yep, I did the whole year because it's gonna be a full payment when we get it.
better to have a little extra left over.
Yeah, so it's probably a little on the high side, so that'll fluctuate in the fall when we set the tax rate. But I'm just going off of the estimates that I have right now and what we're looking at, so I don't have a concrete number until we actually purchase the truck officially this year. And it was approved last year, so we're all good there.
So that takes care of, I mean, we had a pretty good idea of general fund, water fund, and wastewater. There was still some things in the electric that we had to kind of look over, right?
The only thing that's changed from the last time is the depreciation numbers. Actually, the rate increases that I'm asking for actually went down for water and wastewater. I was initially asking for 17%, but the depreciation dropped enough that a 16% increase for water will be sufficient, and a 5.5% increase versus my initial request of 7% will be sufficient. Electric department,
Because we were talking about a rate case increase that would be
so
effective in like August,
we are
right?
definitely going for a rate increase. Worst case scenario for the electric department is that that increase won't take effect until August 1st. I've been kind of being a thorn in VEPS's side on that a little bit, and they may try to get us in sooner. We're gonna basically have everything ready now, and then we'll be waiting on the purchase power is gonna be the biggest portion of that, so we'll have to wait for Sean to be able to pull all that together. So we'll have everything else ready, and then we can file, but it doesn't go into effect until 45 days after you filed, so we would essentially be filing by June 15th, and then it would take effect August 1st.
So when, they must take a look at our recent purchase power.
So they take a look at 2022 purchase power and then kind of the estimate for 2023, and then they go off of our audited financials. So by putting in like the raises last year that everybody got, kind of helps us out for the full rate increase, and doing we did a lot of like O&M stuff with the hydros last year, so that will kind of help our case a little bit. So my guess is we're gonna be 8-ish%, but that's just really ballpark out of nowhere.
Because they're also guessing purchase power is gonna skyrocket here in the next couple months.
Well, at this point, we're doing all right. Knock
It's-
on wood.
It's,
The hydros are still cranking,
It's
and
good.
this is the, I'm waiting, was hoping to get it today. They were
Yeah.
gonna try to get them out today, but, for December's purchase power, but like November, we produced 71% of our max capacity with those hydros. So I think December's numbers are gonna be good. And January, we've had a few days downtime because of just maintenance and mechanical issues that came up. But this is the most we've ran in January in pretty much forever. So
It's good.
the ice is kind of going out, but we've got some pretty cool temperatures the next couple weeks. So depending on where that is, we may have to shut down the village, and if it starts to freeze, it may freeze the Kendall. So we may be down for February, but optimistic it won't be
Yeah,
that bad.
hopefully not.
So yeah,
There yet, so.
with VEPSA alone in our electric department budget was like $250,000 more just over last year, right out of the gates. And that's not factoring in AMI, because we'll be financing that separately. And right now, that project's kind of on a standstill. It's
Waiting.
frustrating as all heck, but
Waiting for the state allocation.
we're waiting for the state, we're waiting for all the contracts to be finalized, and then after that, it's purchase of meters, and last I heard, these meters were close to a year out, so everything's a hurry up and wait, and we're in the waiting phase right now.
At least it's going somewhere.
It's going somewhere, but
Just
not
really
as
slowly.
fast as any of us
Moving to the speed of
want.
government.
Do we have to make any payments on it while we're waiting for that? Like if they get ordered, we don't pay until delivery,
No,
right?
when we get a better time frame, half of our project is being paid for through this grant with the state, and the other half we have to finance. I've already talked to People's Trust. They're gonna basically tailor a 3-year line of credit
Yep.
for us, but I'm gonna kind of push off starting that until we know, so it doesn't kind of hurt us with needing to draw the funds off of it to cover our half, and then at the end of the 3 years, we'll put it into like a long-term 10, 15-year note. But their interest rates through People's were less than half of what it was with VEPSA, so.
Yeah.
the only way we may start paying on it is if we get really excited and start ordering the meters.
Right, that would
Once
be
we
the only thing. Would
Kind
be
of
if
get
we.
out front of them and get them ordered, if we kind of get the flag that we're finally able to, that the grant's coming through,
Right.
but we haven't, we're still waiting for more confirmation on that.
Do they need payment up front?
I'm
I'm sure
they'll
prefer
probably
that.
want at least half up front, if not the full, for the meters. Couple positive notes, with the new phone system that was implemented, we got to kind of take away the alarm line item. We discovered we had a couple of alarm phone lines that we were paying for that were connected to no man's land. So was about $1,700 out of
Yeah, 1780 last
17,
year.
yep,
Or sorry, 2100.
that's what we budgeted.
Oh, sorry.
And the actual was $1,700. We'll have $100 this year just for the final, kind of close out the accounts
Yep.
stuff. We've also moved
Tobacco.
the backhoe fully to the highway department, and then the highway department will bill each department for any use, if there is any. And then maintenance of Bridge of Flower and Lights in Echo Park has been moved to the highway department under maintenance of parks.
Which looks very sad now that it's dark.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Sean and I were out there today. I think one of the cords, I don't know if they got wet or if it tripped a breaker, but I will get those
Something
lights
to
back
do this
on.
tomorrow.
I just couldn't get over the difference emotionally.
Doesn't it look
Looking at it
terrible?
when it's lit up and then looking at it when it's pitch black, it's like the biggest downer.
The sad part is I didn't notice it until this morning. And I went in his office, was like, who turned my lights off? I was really mad. And then I went out there and I'm not sure what's going on, so I've got to do a little more
These things
investigation tomorrow. But I will get those lights back on.
Does anybody know why those lights are purple?
I think it's the lit bulbs that are in there. I'm not sure. I've asked that
Street
question.
lights?
Yeah.
No, the lights on the bridge.
The
Christmas lights or
The
the?
large
no,
No,
the
that's
like
like
street
the-
light, the
Almost a
globe.
lavender
The
color.
globe.
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes them very.
I don't know if
romantic.
it's the
Yeah,
globe
weddings.
itself or if it's the type of light.
Very church. You can have either
Bug
one.
guts on it.
There's a lot of bugs down there too.
Can I ask a water department question?
Yes, ma'am.
On page 202 in the water department,
Yeah.
what did we ever end up thinking about, and I probably have heard this, and just because I'm so old, it's gone from my brain, about the fluoride, do we or don't we? And
We are putting that on the ballot,
okay,
so it will be voted on March 14th.
as to maybe ditch it.
And if it comes back with enough people voting to ditch it, then we will ditch it, and that'll be $2,600.
Yeah,
So,
because from 69 a bag to 161 a bag is
and that's
quite
prob-
a change.
and that's probably, the 161's probably not even accurate anymore, it's probably gone up from there.
Thank you.
Yep. And our audit is done.
How'd that go?
It went really smoothly.
Wonderful.
It didn't seem as much back and forth, but maybe because I've got a little more time under my belt and knew what was going on a little bit better. Our auditors were really good. I've got the draft tonight. John and I have to review it tomorrow and get it back to them. If we have any changes, then we should have the final here soon, but it went really well.
That's good.
Thank you for all your work.
Did they make any recommendations?
I haven't got it yet. We'll get that when we get the final draft, is when they usually send us the findings. But of the findings that we have had we've had the same findings for several years now. I believe we've rectified all but one, and last one is gonna be a policy change that I've been kind of looking into, but nobody really has one, so I'm gonna have to probably reach out to leagues of cities and towns. It's for our capital projects and when to capitalize stuff. We have it kind of in our procurement policy, but not to the level that they're looking for. So, unless there's more questions, I know the electric department's the bleakest looking one, but as John tells me every day, we will get there, and it's just gonna take us a little bit.
Well,
We just have a lot of maintenance right now we're catching up on, and a lot of stuff we're kind of digging out of, but we have a pretty good game plan, and I think we'll get there.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get to the negative, so it's gonna take just as, much time to
Yeah.
rectify it. John's right, it'll happen.
It'll happen. I just have to be patient. Something my 6-year-old tells me daily I'm not very good at, so.
No, I think it looks good, and all the projects that we wanted are in there, and it's the year to keep our heads down and save some money, hopefully.
And I mean, for the general fund, a lot of those loans have caught up to us.
Yep.
And we've got one being paid off, and actually the sweeper, I think the last payment for the sweeper is 2024, so that's nearing the end. Duffy Hill paving, I believe, end of this year, early part of 2024, so we'll see a couple of these smaller ones go away, but the bigger ones, like the couple of the paving and then the new truck, are kind of all hitting at once. There's about 40 grand right there alone, so.
Can't have new stuff without new bills.
No, that's the thing.
And I did put, like, appropriations, I split the 25,000 that we usually do for the sidewalk, 12.5 to the sidewalk and 12.5 to equipment replacement, so we can start building that back up.
Yeah.
So we have more of a down payment the next time we need something.
No, we have a plan going forward, and that's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully next time we need a piece of equipment, we're not scrambling for For
Right.
bonds, we'll have a little bit at least for town meeting.
So if all is good, we'll have to make a motion to approve the budgets as presented. And then also for the rate increases for
Yeah, I'll go-
water and wastewater. I tried to do this cover sheet to make it a little bit easier
I'll go
for
through
you.
all four separately. Alright, I need a motion to accept the general fund at a tax rate of 0.7534.
Move.
Second.
Eli with the first, Sandy with the second, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. Next up, I need a motion to approve water fund, as presented with a 16% increase on all rates in the water fund.
Move.
I'll second.
Eli with the first, Heather with the second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. Wastewater fund, 5.5% increase for all rates in the water fund.
Move.
Eli
Second.
with the first, Sandy with the second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. That's unanimous. Okay, electric department.
Kind of just as is and then
Yeah, I guess just
not really.
with the was, yeah. I guess maintain the current rate, and go for a rate increase ASAP.
Move.
Eli with the first, Leonard with the second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay.
Thank you.
Alright. Budgets are done, earliest ever.
Yay. And we didn't have to meet every week. Not that I don't love y'all, but I like not seeing you every week too.
Well,
Well,
thank you very much.
we didn't have to meet
Household
every week
appreciates
because
it.
of your efficiency.
Yep. It
So
worked
thank
out pretty
you.
well.
Yeah.
Okay. Up next, manager's report.
Well, it's pretty short and sweet. Just a quick update on the junk and garbage ordinance. I mean, essentially, we're still waiting on our joint meeting, which we'll discuss a little bit, but we've floated it out there to the select board, but because of their budgets, they're talking not to April. We try to push to get that sooner, but to talk to them and kind of come up with a game plan, because again, right now it's saying Jesse, unless we want to move forward and look at, again, I can be, or we can appoint somebody, so if we don't want to wait in the meantime, we can find somebody to,
So I read the ordinance. I think it says that any duly appointed official
right,
can enforce any laws, including any of the trustees,
right.
is how I read that. So, I mean, we can approve you. Do you have your book yet?
I got the books.
Do you have your number yet?
I don't have my number yet, I gotta get my number. But yeah, I do have the books, so
Yeah, I mean, we can do that right now if you want.
that's fine with me, and then we don't have to wait until that meeting.
I would like a motion to appoint John to be our duly authorized agent to enforce village ordinances, all of them.
So,
Second.
Sandy with the first, Eli with the second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. There, the sheriff again.
Yeah,
6 guns.
I gotta write my own ticket though. Look at that thing. And along with that, and I don't know if anybody listened into the EI meeting the other night, last week, but one idea that came up and I thought was pretty interesting, I guess I will hop on board and try to help promote it, is the kind of like a landlord association type, or a, I think this kind of goes along with the junk ordinance and so forth, but, you know, I guess it's kind of just the infancy stages, so they're trying to figure out what it looks like. Susie Holt-Pyre had mentioned it. I don't know if it was a brainstorm or somebody else, but she had mentioned it in the meeting. So I'm on board with it, so I guess we're just trying to figure out what that looks like. So just maybe even invite Richford landlords, you know, some of these folks are from out of town, you know, live in Burlington or wherever.
maybe if it
But,
can help bring a little uniformity, that would be good.
Yeah, just try to, you know, get together and maybe cry about some things and together, and also try to fix some things together. So
Does
That's-
Burlington have something like that? I think they do.
there is an association, and I do belong to it. it's out of Shelburne, it's just the Vermont Landlords Association.
So it's a state level.
It's a state level, they have a couple lawyers and a lobbyist, and, you know, it's always been helpful. I haven't used it a ton, but I have used it, and they're very helpful. And there's, you know, you can log on, they always have forums going on, what's going on in the world. So yeah, that's out there too, so we thought about, the other suggestion, maybe inviting someone like that in. to give
Well,
their
the more we
opinion.
learn.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it could be a starting point for local support, cause
Right.
state level sometimes can be really helpful, but it's sometimes too, our community is maybe not the same as that community for some of the problems, and so the, you know, questions just might not be relevant or something.
Right. And then it's maybe the strength in numbers thing, so if somebody's really having an issue at an apartment, you know, if we could, maybe some folks together can help that person, support them through something if we needed to or something, so. Solar project update, so we have, as you know, we signed off on the lease and so had the neighbor. So now we're in the process of working through the interconnection, so that means we're basically gonna need to build out and upgrade our lines. So we've, through the PPA, so through the cost of the whole project, we have an engineer that's out of Massachusetts, PLM, so we're working with them, and Encore's engineer, gotta start working on putting together the interconnection cost and feasibility study on that. We are also looking, I've already talked to Sid Burks, and I gotta kinda go up the road, and I've talked with Dave in the light department, and we're gonna try to bring some of that back easement on roadside, so like we talked about in the past, just with storms and so forth, this is a little easier to get people on quicker. If that's roadside, instead of climbing out there in the snow in the dark, trying to gaff a pole and work on it, so that's part of the project as well.
So they're all gonna be aerial wires?
All aerial, yeah, and then yeah, trying to bring them roadside, so that's where that's at. The EV charger is in,
It's good.
it does cost.
Has anybody used it yet? Can we tell?
We have, yes, we can tell, and we do have a user. It's Greg Lamore so far. Has been our
Must
big
be-
user.
His isn't here yet, must be.
No, his is in too, but he was our guinea pig. So he's used it a couple times.
And how about the parking space for it staying open? How's that going?
Every time I've been by, I've never seen anybody in it. I've seen someone kind of creep up to it, but I've never seen anybody in the actual spot. So I mean, definitely parallel park. As you know, most EV cars aren't that big. It's not like they're big pickups or something. So, so yeah, it's been open and it's up and running and working, and yeah, we've got the billing set up and all that stuff. So it's on all the maps. So we're just waiting for folks to.
Perfect.
Has there been an article in the Messenger about that? Could be a fun article.
There was an article prior to, because it was a grant. So Abby and I
The guinea pig would write an article.
think he might. But yeah, between the grant and the Efficiency Vermont, it basically all paid for itself except for the labor.
Right.
So,
Sorry.
there's something else I had to add real quick. As Abby said, our new phone system is up and running.
Are you happy with it?
I've got no complaints.
I think the first day obviously would change.
We have voicemail now, just throwing that
Yeah,
out there.
we have voicemail, we have interconnected, so you can transfer calls from here to the wastewater or to the
Highway.
highway department.
We're just going right up in the world.
Yes.
Welcome to
Everything's
2003.
Yeah.
And everything I thought went pretty smoothly, so the switchover went pretty good. No complaints from customers that we were closed for that little bit of time, but it went pretty good.
Now all we have to do is get an easier online payment system, and we'll be all set.
That's been coming up a lot more from customers.
I've been getting complaints.
I wonder with that new Stripe that we use,
Possible.
because it's already,
Well, we're gonna be looking at new accounting, billing software altogether anyway, and, it's gonna come probably with a hefty price tag when we do it, but the transition either before or after AMI, and I'm gonna be doing my homework this year, for that, especially the way our maintenance contract is set up with our current software. We can't extend it any further past July of next year. So we may be having this conversation sooner than I had intended, but I've already got it set up to go check out a couple other people's software once everybody's through year end, and maybe that's one component I wanna look at, is if that's something we can tie into it a little bit easier.
Yeah, especially paperless and automated. I
Yes.
think a lot of people would be really happy about that,
I agree. We've had a lot
especially with AMI.
of requests for that. So yeah, it's definitely on our radar to do some homework this year and start figuring that out and see what we can do. Especially just the fee alone that you have to pay if you use a debit or credit card is only $4.
Yeah, 4% or something?
It's $3.95 up to every
Yeah.
$300. It's 95 cents if you use a checking account, but if you use your bank, like your debit or any credit card, it's $3.95 every transaction up to $300.
That we don't see.
No, that's
That's our
strictly
processing
from
fee.
Invoice Cloud, and we've attempted to negotiate that, and
Not
not happening.
Yeah, that may work.
Well, let's look into that.
I will
I
look
didn't think
into
about
that,
that, but that's a very valid thing, so.
The only other thing that kind of came up since writing this was the Vermont Healthy Communities. So I have an interview, I think, not this Monday, the Monday after, to talk about it and what our game plans are. And I guess if I get interviewed, and I'll really have Abby sit in just in case they have financial questions that she might be able to answer off the tip of her tongue. So that's coming up. So we did get a response from that.
Awesome, that's good to hear. Have they said anything like more of like, did they give you any more detailed information about like the program?
I mean, it's
still service level on the website.
Yeah, so it wasn't very clear, I guess, but it just sounds like technical. So it sounds like a project manager almost. What it sounds like you're interviewing for to get their assistance. So I don't know. I'm gonna ask some questions to them to see if they're even up to the challenge, I guess. But yeah, it just sounds like they're basically a project manager you get out of the grant, and they help you through like a revitalization or something. So
Cool.
I'll have more after the interview, but because I asked them that question if I need to bring anything or any data I should gather, and they said no, just for the interview. So we'll wait and see.
Awesome, exciting.
Then lastly, we do have the insurance company coming. I know we've got our request on the open house about the bridge being fully open. So we have the insurance company coming next week. We figure we'd start there and have them assess what they think, if there's anything safety wise or they feel is not proper. And then basically,
Certainly a good place to start.
yeah, so we'll come up with that list if they have any. Maybe they won't, but we don't know. But we'll come up with that list, and then Ken's gonna put together a list as well of kind of what they need to do in there, and the light department, what they need to do in there. And we'll come up with a budget, and if folks really are that interested, we'll present the budget of what it'd take to get it opened all the way, and we'll find out.
And we'll charge to use it, get our money back.
Yeah.
Toll bridge.
Toll on each side.
An event fee.
Event fee. And we did ask about the road sign and the deductible, but according to the insurance,
So we have a $500 deductible, and the replacement of a new one has gone up like $1,500 since the last time we purchased one. So we are just under the threshold for it to be covered, but it will be. As far as right now, it looks like it will be covered. I got the police report today. We sent them pictures. Gary had to put a letter together from WorkSafe that it's beyond being repaired because the control panel got destroyed, and that would cost more than the whole setup
Yeah,
itself.
wiring harness is ripped out of it.
Everything, yep. So we sent them pictures, and everything's, as of tonight, moving forward. So hopefully we'll be able to recoup some costs there so we can purchase a new one
Yeah.
to replace it.
Are they gonna cover the replacement cost of the new one, or are they gonna cover what we paid for it?
So it's the replacement cost minus the deductible minus depreciation. I don't know what their depreciation is, so
Only
it's
like
not
2
gonna
years
cover. It's not, we purchased it in December of 2020, they didn't get installed right off. So I'm not sure what their depreciation is gonna be. I haven't gotten that final number yet. Hopefully not much.
Hopefully low, yeah.
That's all I got.
Well, thank you. Other business?
I've got a couple quick little things. Can we go back to the rate approvals? I didn't ask you for the effective date for the water and wastewater. Are we good with February 1st? We'll get those implemented the next billing cycle, or do you wanna hold off until, for water and wastewater, when would you like those new rates to go into effect? My dream world would be February 1st, but if you
I
guys
was
wanna
gonna
hold
say I'm good with
off.
February 1st.
Yeah.
Do you
I
wanna
don't-
hold off?
I don't think there's any reason why we need to wait until after village meeting. then.
I looked through the last time we did rate increases and we had nothing in the annual report village, in the annual meeting, cause I did check that to see if we did present it, but there was nothing.
Effective February 1st,
Okay,
so we'll amend that motion.
be effective February 1st. Thank you, sorry. The only other thing that I have is just a quick historical society update. We've been meeting with John, I met with Shirley last week, I think, to kind of just go over the grant and kind of help her and get her what she needed for documents, but finally got something back from the Career Center today, and they're politely bowing out at this point, I guess, from doing the work that they committed to in November and promised me that they would not bow out when January came around. I'm not bitter at all, I promise.
And their reasoning?
I haven't heard from Seth himself. This was from Nate DeMar. Just that the school year hasn't gone as they intended and they're stretched thin, and
My son
That was-
is working on building a sugar house.
yeah, that's mine too, but yeah. So I haven't actually heard from Seth himself, but I did forward the email to Shirley and said time to come up with a plan B. So I know they have a meeting next Monday. She's gonna be discussing it with her board and coming up with a plan B to move forward so we can get everything done. And then like John had said earlier, we emailed Billy Joe about, we've got a few handful of things lingering for a joint meeting that we're kind of waiting for them to get back to us. And the response from the board, she presented it to their board last night at their meeting, was that they didn't have time to meet with us till April just because of budgets and town meeting and stuff,
It's
so.
understandable.
I kind of expected it was gonna be
Yeah.
April, so we can either throw some dates back to them now, or we can give it a couple more meetings and then come up with dates, whatever you guys would like to do.
Well, let's see what we have available in April.
Yeah, why not act on it?
Yeah.
Did the Wednesday work for everybody here? It seemed to work pretty well for them.
Yeah.
That way we're not cluttering
nobody's
either their
night.
meeting or our meeting with joint meeting stuff. I think it's more appropriate to have a dedicated night just for that. So, we have the 1st, which is the 5th, the 12th, the 19th, or the 26th.
12's bad.
12th is bad. So we have the 5th, 19th, 26th.
I have a board meeting on the 19th.
So we have the 5th and the 26th.
I could request to not be present, but it is a standing board meeting.
No, that's fine.
5th?
5th? 4 or 5?
4 or 5.
It's, yeah.
And 6 or 6:30, we're hosting, so I can set the time.
I think 6 is good.
Is that good for everybody? You?
It'll work.
You don't have a far commute, I expect you to be.
So we're doing the 5th at 6.
Yep.
4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6. There you go.
I will email Billy Joe back tomorrow.
Right. I guess we should ask them if that works for them.
Well,
Yeah, so then would the backup day be
The
the
26th.
26th? I am just looking, it is, and it may affect people, may or may not affect people, the 5th is Passover, according to my phone. So it's, I don't know if it's possible.
Okay. We'll present the 5th with a backup date of the
Think it'll
26th.
be a problem.
okay.
Just,
Of anybody that,
yeah, not that I'm
Not
aware
going
of,
to be
but, yeah. Yeah, so the 5th and backup is the 26th. Cool.
Okay, and I will reach out and let you know when I get the final answer from the select board.
Perfect.
Right.
And that is all I have. Short and sweet.
Any other business? If not, I'll hear motion to move into executive session for the purpose of discussing negotiations in which premature public knowledge may compromise the position of the municipality.
No move.
A second.
Heather with the first, Heather with the second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed nay.